Hey everybody, this is Starjump Graham. Let me know if I'm coming in okay. Those of you in chat, thanks for hanging out with us tonight. Give me a 5x5 if you can hear me okay and my voice sounds good. Getting a 5x5 by Lazy Donuts. Okay, sounds good everyone. Testing one more time because I just changed a minor mic input thing. Let me know if my mic still sounds okay and if I am still coming in okay. I think it's all good humming. Got some reverb with the sound. Interesting, interesting. Little echo. Okay, well that's not good. We don't want any echo. Stand by. All right, check one, check two. Let me know if you've got echo now. Let's see if we got any echo now. Sound like there's reverb from the background. Okay, could be reverb from the background. I'm going to try applying a filter. Bear with me here as we get this good. Background noise or sound. Okay. Yes, I do, but I'm changing some. Check one, check two. Let me know in chat if you can hear me okay, how my levels and everything going. There are people talking in the background, sorry, but that will stop soon enough. 100% better. Okay, cool, good, thank you. All right, everyone, we'll be right back. All right, everybody. Welcome to the Starjump Station IAE pre-show. I'm here with Starjump Ender, looking quite moody in his web camera right now. Got some low light. Kind of, you looks like your candle lit a little bit.
I just figured out my streaming issue and may have fixed it. So
Okay. It's not the first time I've heard this, but I'm hoping that you're right. I'm hoping that you're right.
YouTube.
We've been on a couple good leads with your streaming issue, but we'll see if we can get it solved. Hello, everybody. Hope you are all well. I am obviously here with Starjump Ender, and this is our Starjump Station IAE 2954 pre-show. Obviously, IAE starts tomorrow, so we wanted to do kind of a pre-show, a shorter stream, but kind of a pre-show just to kind of get hyped up, talk about a few things, say hello to everyone in chat, lay out what the Starjump coverage is going to look like over the next 10 days, and so you all can kind of know what to expect. First off, everyone in chat, thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight. We got a good crowd forming over on Twitch. 25, 30 people or so. We got 56 and climbing over on YouTube. So thank you so much, everyone, for hanging out. Someone just said emo ender. I like that. We need to make that a custom emote. An emo ender. Yeah. Yes. Thank you, North. Appreciate it. If you're on YouTube, do not forget to like the stream, hit those alert bells, all that good stuff. Subscribe to the channel, please. Trying to build up our subscriber base on YouTube and now with more regular content. Obviously, if you're on this Twitch channel now, hopefully you're following me, but obviously go over to Ender's channel and give him a follow as well. Don't forget to go over to our Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it. Very important. That's where we post a lot of the Starjump updates, especially in regards to Starjump Fleet Viewer. If you've never checked out Starjump Fleet Viewer, definitely go check that out. Let's go to Ender real quick. Ender, how are you doing? How's your week been? Tell us a little bit about what you've been up to.
Week has been weird, to say the least. Working and trying to figure out streaming issues. Got one solved and two more popped up. So hopefully we can get that fixed and get back to streaming so I can get some stress relief.
Well, hopefully with enough massaging, you will get it all sorted out. So
one way or the other.
Yeah. I have been having a pretty good week. It's been pretty busy. I had an enjoyable time doing Starjump Shipyard Live, which I'm now doing every Tuesday. So for those of you that like ship-specific content, I do a show called Starjump Shipyard, and it's centered around ships, usually focusing on one ship and kind of deep diving it. I moved that to a live format. It used to be pre-recorded, although now with Ender editing, I probably could more realistically go back to doing pre-records because the editing was the troublesome part. However, the live episodes have been working out really great, and it allows for a little bit more free-form discussion. So hopefully you all have been enjoying that content. Again, just did one on, what was the one I just did? Oh, on building your fleet and managing your fleet and stuff, and maybe how to make decisions on which ships to buy. Again, just my opinion. Do not take everything I say as gospel, that's for sure. That being said, I wanted to point out that we are Icon City partners. As you can see the code down there, you can use the code STARJUMP over at Icon City and get the Star Citizen Icon Pack for your Elgato Stream Decks and all that. You can also get it for tons of other games, but you can use that code and get 10% off. So really encourage you to do that. We're going to be having some Icon City Star Citizen Icon Packs for giveaway as well on both channels, my channel and Ender's channel. That'll be coming up real soon. We're hoping to do a Fleet Builders episode. We were planning on doing that on Ender's channel. If that still works, and we may have to do some testing on that, but if that still works, then we'll alert you when that is coming up. I do have the IAE Starjump Station schedule though that I'm going to share with you very shortly here. What else? This is a pre-IAE show, so we're not. It's not going to deep dive anything specific, obviously, because IAE hasn't started, but we're going to talk about what we can expect, what the Starjump Station coverage is going to look like going forward. We'll talk about Fleet Viewer updates, all that kind of good stuff. We're going to go over giveaways. I have a host of giveaways. I've decided I wasn't going to purchase any ships with real money this year at IAE, and I was going to put that money into giveaways. So I got a few things. So we'll talk about the giveaways and how that's going to work. We will start the giveaway thing tonight, though. We'll be giving away 2 Starjump IAE 2954 posters that they're custom designed by me. I've been previewing those if you're in any of our channels, so we'll be giving away 2 of those tonight. One will be through Twitch, and the other will be through YouTube. Yes, you can enter both if you want. That's totally fine. The giveaway is not running yet, so you may not see anything when you hit exclamation ticket, but we will kick it off in short order. What else? So a couple things. One more thing to cover. We will talk about the IAE schedule. Obviously, we've gone over that a few times already, but we'll talk about it again just to refresh everyone, as well as the IAE limited ship waves. We're going to talk a little bit about that too. I have the schedule for that, so we'll show that and kind of go over everything. I think that's mostly it. Ender, do you have anything else before we kind of launch into content proper?
No, but other than I think it's probably best if we just do station or not station, fleet builder over here. To be honest with you,
Okay. Well, yeah,
um,
like we can
with the issues
see
that I've
and
got, I'm not confident that I'll be able to figure it out and get it fixed up. So
so what you're saying is confidence is low.
yeah, right now
But we'll
until
see.
it's fixed.
We'll see. There might be some tests. Okay, first off, everyone in chat, I know I saw a lot of our familiar folks hanging out on both YouTube and Twitch. I know I saw Bingo in there. Let's see. Too many people, obviously, to call out. Oh, Execute's there. Execute, hope you're well, bud. We had a fun conversation the other day. Execute's always bringing interesting information my way. Who else? We have Von Cody, Red Samurai, Space Dad, just tons of people. Thank you all for coming and hanging out with us both as we talk about Star Citizen. Let's go ahead first and foremost. Let's go ahead and talk about the Starjump Station schedule throughout IAE. Bring that up here. So this is just the times we plan on doing Starjump stations, okay? So obviously today, 21st, we have our pre-IAE show where we're just kind of talking basically about, what's to come. Tomorrow, we'll be doing our first proper IAE Day 1 video or Starjump Station. This one will obviously be focused a lot on Crusader and a lot on the Intrepid. So if Crusader and the Intrepid is something that interests you, will definitely want to tune in because I'm going to be giving away 2 Crusader Intrepids on that episode tomorrow. So you'll have 2 chances to win the Crusader Intrepid. So stay tuned for that day. There'll be no show on the 23rd, but we'll be back on November 24th, which is Sunday, for day 3. On that episode, we're going to cover primarily Misk and Mirai. As well, and we'll also on these days we're also going to be covering whatever was talked about in the IAE show episodes that CIG is going to put out. I think these are a replacement for their Inside Star Citizens during the IAE event, so we'll talk about whatever news is discussed there because I'm sure we're going to get all kinds of interesting information. On day 3, though, we'll be talking about Misk and Mirai. Obviously, a heavy focus there on the Star Lancer. And really cool giveaway that will start on that day. A giveaway for the Starlancer Max with Sapphire Paint from CitizenCon. A good chance to win a Starlancer. So if you're digging that ship, definitely show up on the 24th. No show on the 25th. On the 26th we'll cover day 5. Again, that's going to be all Polaris, right? I also suspect we might get some other RSI ship news in the form of the IAE show update from CIG. Could be information about the Perseus, could be information about the Apollo. Those are the 2 suspects right now that I'm thinking we could hear something about. So obviously we'll have a lot to say about those. No show on the 27th and 28th because, no show on the 27th and 28th. I will be out of town those 2 days. However, on the 29th, we'll be back. We'll be covering days 6 and 7 of the event, and essentially that is going to be Drake Day and Consolidated Outland Day. Why are we covering those 2 days? Well, I'm a little bit suspicious that we might get some Drake news. I'm not 100% convinced of that, but it's possible we could get some Drake news. If there's any sort of update on the Ironclad, that may give us some hints on the Kraken. I think that's worth talking about. And then, very importantly, as Execute said on one of his streams the other day, The Consolidated Outland Day is going to be really interesting because we're going to have a limited ship sale for the Pioneer. Very curious to see how fast that thing sells out. Not only in credit version, obviously those go quick, but the war bond versions. Very excited to see that, and excited to see if not excited to see, but curious to see if the price goes up.
Mm.
I think at the end of the day, the Pioneer is going to be much more expensive, but we'll talk into that. Grim huffing the Hopium big time on Drake. Maybe, but maybe I have some information you don't have. I don't know. We'll see. Either way, I'm very curious to see if we'll get any information on Drake Day. I know a lot of people are thinking that the Kraken will think, or there's probably people thinking that I'm hoping the Kraken's going to drop. Obviously, I'm not hoping for, or thinking that's going to happen at all. But I do think we could get some information on the Ironclad. And I know a lot of people think that the Kraken maybe isn't far away because it was in the Knicks gameplay reveal. The only problem with that is CIG puts the Kraken in all kinds of stuff because they have a game ready exterior asset for it and have for years. They have since about 2018. So that's why they can easily put it in like the Scorpius trailer and all that stuff because they have a game ready game engine asset of the Kraken exterior. So that's why you see it. I don't necessarily think the Kraken's around the corner because it was in the Knicks stuff.
Yeah.
Obviously, November 30th, which is the Saturday, we'll be back for day 9, Anvil Day. This is going to be a big one. Obviously, the medical terrapin coming, but more specifically, there are hints for other really interesting things. Mark Gibson from CIG, obviously vehicle designer, I think one of the lead vehicle designers, recently also stated that there was some big surprises coming for the Carrack, which I think maybe he wasn't supposed to say. Don't really know. There's some other interesting hits in the game files about Anvil Day that are really interesting. So a lot to talk about for Anvil Day, and I think that'll be an exciting day. So that's our IAE coverage. You can also slot a Fleet Builders episode in there. Don't know exactly when that's going to be, but more than likely it'll be a day that is most convenient for Ender. Ender's got a busy work schedule right now. He's got a lot on his shoulders, and we're going to work around that. Now, one thing I do want to say to everyone here. This is our schedule that we hope to stick to. That doesn't mean a day will shift or a day gets canceled all outright. That could always happen. We, unlike a lot of great content creators out there, we sometimes are subject to real life issues that just means we can't stream. It just is. This isn't our job, and it's we don't we don't make any money off of this. So it's sometimes things just have to give. Okay, so that is our schedule. Let's go ahead and move over to the IAE schedule. Okay, kind of referencing our show schedule here. So one interesting thing is that CIG said that there was going to be one of these IAE show episodes, sort of like their version of Inside Star Citizen, every other day of the event. So they're going to start tomorrow, which is Crusader Day, which makes sense because the show will probably talk about Crusader and the Intrepid.
Yeah.
Then they have another show on Sunday, which is Mirai and Mist Day. Makes sense. They're going to talk about the Star Lancer, probably go into the build a little bit, tell us a little bit more about that. They'll skip a day, the Alien Day, and then they'll have another episode on RSI Day, which we hope we'll hear about the Perseus, the Apollo, etc. Skip a day, then we should have a show on Drake Day. Now, does that necessarily mean we'll get Drake news? We don't know, but it's a possibility. Skip a day, and then we have another show on Anvil Day, November 30th. Okay.
Yep.
Obviously going to be a big show there because I think we're going to get a big concept ship, a la the Paladin. And then obviously we're into Best in Show and the IAE 2954 finale. During this entire event, there's going to be a free fly and all that kind of good stuff. I'm sure the servers are going to crumble under the weight of such a big event. We'll have to see. Hopefully CIG has done enough hole plugging to keep the servers alive. I made a crucial mistake today. I logged into the game under the new patch and selected New Babbage as my starting zone because I have been digging New Babbage lately, but then I suddenly realized that, holy crap, everyone's going to be spawning into New Babbage, and that was probably a mistake.
Yes, that was definitely a mistake.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
But
Crusader is still mine, although I do think that I should have gone with Area 18.
Yeah. Muku, if I missed it, thank you for that subscription via Prime 20 minutes ago. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Salute. Yeah, I chose New Babbage because I've actually been having a lot of, I enjoy New Babbage because I can take off, fly, don't have to fly far to like a nice, pretty area. I can land, test out
Yeah.
ground vehicles, and do other things. So,
Sure.
okay.
Sure.
Yeah. So continuing along, let's go to my next slide. Again, want to give everyone a preview of the giveaways. We're going to be giving away an Icon City Star Citizen Icon Pack. Again, probably do that on Ender's channel too, especially if ever gets everything working right. We got Starjump posters, 2 Argo Atlas suits, an Avenger starter pack, the one with the Ironweave pate and the Arden SL armor, 2 Crusader Intrepids, and a Star Lancer Max. So again, might do posters tonight. So 2 posters tonight is what we'll do for giveaways. All right, let's see here. Let's go ahead and jump into a few things. Bear with me. Bear with me. I'm going to bring up. Oops, that's not working. Hold on, everybody. Hold on. We lost our windows. Okay, just making sure I got everything set up here. Okay, let's go into our good friend here, the web. Let's go. I did want to pull up the trailer here for IAE. They released this first video called "What is IAE?" Let's go ahead and give that a watch.
Welcome to IAE 2954, the biggest in-game spaceship convention in the Star Citizen universe. Every year, the Intergalactic Aerospace Expo invites players to explore the universe. You can dive in and play for free during the convention, whether you're into mining, hauling, bounty hunting, or something else entirely. Join the celebration. Check out the ships up close. Over 150 vehicles are free to fly during the convention, with a different ship manufacturer and lineup featured every day.
So, you know, that's kind of interesting. 150 flyable ships, which is pretty incredible for the IAE. I think also this may be, I'm going to actually bring back up the CitizenCon schedule real quick. Or sorry, the IAE schedule. Sorry, I have it labeled CitizenCon schedule. It's kind of interesting because I think this IAE we have the most flyable ships we've ever had during a single event, which is kind of incredible. Polaris, Star Lancer Max, the Intrepid, the Medical Terrapin, the Hornet Tracker, and the Hornet Ghost. That's how many is that? That's 6.
Yeah.
So it's 6 total ships there. And then if that was not interesting enough, there's possibly another flight ready ship that could be coming on Anvil Day. We don't really know. There's been some interesting stuff found in the files by a select few people that are able to actually find this information because it's locked behind some of CIG's proprietary kind of data structure. And there's been some interesting stuff found on the show floor for Anvil. But we'll get to that. We're going to talk about that. But essentially where we're going is we're coming up to an event with 6 flight ready ships and at least 1 concept ship sale. And that's not including the Miss Guardian, which I do personally feel, I don't know how you feel, Ender, but I personally feel the Guardian is coming after IAE. I'm really thinking that's a 4.0 ship.
It makes sense to be a 4.0 ship. I think they've got enough going on that they don't need to feel like Mirai Guardian or Miss Guardian or whatever it is needs to come out at IAE. I think they have enough coming, and they figure that'll keep them happy for a little while.
Yeah, exactly. I feel the same. I think they don't want to step too much either on the Star Lancer. It's one of the larger ships being sold this year, and you know the wallet's already going to be stretched pretty thin. I'm honestly a little shocked that they're coming out with the Hornet Tracker and Ghost at IAE. I could have easily seen them saving those for like Invictus next year, but it looks like they want to get those out. So
I was really surprised to see them,
Yeah,
but I'm thinking what we'll end up with is the Super Hornet
for Invictus.
Mark II for Invictus. It
Yeah,
makes
that's a
sense
good
to have
idea.
that
Yeah.
Mark II for Invictus.
Yeah, that's actually a good thought. I could see that. I think that would be a big seller
I think
during
so,
Invictus.
especially if they did the Heartseeker
Yeah.
and
Is it the
what's the other one?
Wildfire? Is it the
Wildfire.
yeah?
Yes.
Because
If
let's
they
be
did one of those, it would definitely be big.
yeah, because let's be certain. I mean, out of all the new Hornet Mark twos, besides just the standard F7A, the Super Hornet's probably the next most sought after.
Yeah,
I would think. Yeah,
I I think that's the F7M. So I think Cody, the A
right.
is what everybody has right now,
Yeah, and the
if I'm not
C are the
mistaken.
civilian versions.
Yeah, and
Which
then
I
you
think the
can,
C is only for the base variant, like we have it, because I think
yeah,
that was just how they wanted to do it to have a stepping stone to get the F7A
yeah, I think
for that
so.
event. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
And so the one that you got for the event was the A, correct?
yes. Well,
And
yeah.
so,
Yep. You had to participate in all 6 phases of the event.
yeah,
We
which
did that
we
together,
did.
which honestly was
So
really
yeah,
fun.
I
I
liked it. I thought
I
it was a great idea.
I personally thought that was the coolest way for them to allow you to get the token to change your C to an A.
Yep.
That event was, even with its problems, was a fun event. I do think the
Yeah.
last phase of that was kind of a little bit of a like shit show, I guess is the best way to say it. And sometimes it
Yeah.
feels like CIG will deliberately put a mission in their game that the servers are really not suited for, and that mission, that phase 6 or 7, whatever it was, that mission felt like one that was just not made for the CIG
It was
servers, really.
definitely phase 6.
Yeah.
It was, ugh.
GCH says, "Do you
Um,
think they'll run another F7A event or have another way to get it?" I absolutely think they will. I
oh yeah,
100% they'll run that again.
for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
I don't see them. I see that being kind of a regular thing
I
for
do
a
too.
couple
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
different
Yeah.
ships.
I do too.
But I think,
Honestly,
yeah,
I think it would
Invictus F7M for
I think
sure.
it would be good to run it every Invictus personally.
That would actually be smart of them. Give
Yeah.
a lot of people a chance to get it,
Yeah.
or at least get the token for it.
Yeah.
I think that would be a good move for them, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Um, but
And the other thing too is, as we've seen with the the whole manufacturing kind of gameplay loop, or sorry, the blueprints gameplay loop that CIG showed off at CitizenCon, which didn't know if I had that up. Stand by. Let me see if this is it. Yeah, like let me switch over to my left screen monitor. CIG showed us this graphic. Um, the we already know that you're not going to be able, or at least from what it seems like, you're in Star Citizen 1.0, you're not going to be able to like buy a military ship. That seems to be what CIG is doing. So you're not going to be able to go off and buy a Perseus or buy an F7A or any sort of military ship. What you're going to have to do is earn through reputation and other things. You're going to have to earn the
yeah,
blueprint to build that military ship.
right.
Everything that I've seen so far in their presentations, and I could be wrong, but everything I've seen, I've talked to other content creators, they agree. I know Execute feels the same way about this, is that it doesn't look like there's going to be any way to get the military ships without some sort of reputation grind. I
Yeah,
think that's a good idea.
I think
So,
it's great.
for those of you out there that do own military variants of ships now, there's a big benefit to have purchased it with cash or got it through an event or something like that, in that you're removing that one rep grind, which will be nice. But I see the F7As. I think that if they did something every Invictus to where you could get that token, that would be really cool.
Yeah,
But then outside of that, I think they should not continue to not sell it just in the regular ship sales personally. um, that being said, with the F8C, having been one of the ships winning best in show this year, one of the top four, CIG has already confirmed there's going to be 2 best in show packs this year that contain the F8C in the
yeah.
pack. So if you somehow missed out on that, and I think there's been 2 opportunities to get that at this point, Ender, I can't remember if I think they've run that event twice.
I think
The cards where you loot the cards, and you have to
no, it
turn
was
it
only
in.
the once. It was only the once,
Mm,
but they did something. Somebody help me out. I don't feel like it was the same event.
yeah, I can't quite
I
remember,
think they
but
I think they I think they ended up opening it up for LTI at some point for those people. I'm not sure. I'm not
yeah.
sure.
Well, either way, there's going to be 2 packs available on for best in show. So there's a couple paths to get it this time. So we'll have to see what that looks like. Um, but anyways, I think that's interesting. Again, that the military ships we're going to have to replicate, and I think other ships too. I think top tier, like all the capital ships, all that kind of stuff, is going to be something you're going to have to grind your way towards. For example, I don't think you're going to be able to like just easily get the blueprints to like the Pioneer or anything. I
Yeah.
think you're going to have to work a little bit for that. For example, I think to get blueprints for a Pioneer, you're going to have to work your way through the Industrial Guild, the Industrial Workers Guild, quite a bit.
Yeah.
But real quick, Ender, let's go through the days, what we're looking forward to, what you're hoping for. I saw some other people ask about the Paladin and stuff. We are going to talk about that. We'll get to that on Anvil Day here. But let's go ahead and start with day one, Crusader Day, Tumbrel Day. Obviously, I know you're interested in the Intrepid.
Oh
Thoughts
yeah.
on that?
And I said it earlier, but I'll say it again. I was really happy to see that they upgunned that back to a size 4.
Yeah,
That size 4 really makes it look a little bit better.
yeah,
But, they could fit a size 5 on there and really make it something special.
yeah.
Um, and I think that size, I honestly think that a size 5 would actually look just that little bit better to make it make sense. I don't see it happening. I think the size 4 is what they're going to stick with, and I'm perfectly happy with it. I think it's a great little runaround ship to do everything that you need to do. And there's
What?
potential for a variant that you've discussed a few times that
Yeah,
I like.
yeah, yeah. XQ had mentioned a bounty hunting variant. I think that would be
Yeah, I think
very
that'd be
smart because I don't think we have a. Well, we do have a. I guess we do have smaller ships that are bounty hunting ships, like There's the event. There's that one Avenger, and then there's the one, and then the Anvil Hawk can do bounty hunting. So I guess there are a few options there, but yeah. I mean, here's a thing. The Intrepid.
I have to ban Quinn real quick. I apologize. I'm just gonna ban Quinn.
I think that the I think that the Intrepid has been really interesting because it has been a pretty divisive ship. It seems like some people either love it or just absolutely hate it. And what's funny to me is a lot of people that really hated it, as soon as it got moved up to a size 4, they loved it. Um,
Such a weird
which to me was
swap.
kind of interesting because to me that would matter if it was a combat ship of any type. Like, so for example, if um if it, to me the gun size on the Intrepid mattered about as much as the gun size on the Hull C. Like, that's not what I'm using the ship for, so for me personally it doesn't matter. I guess
Hmm.
from an aesthetic standpoint, a bigger gun on that side makes it look better. I looked at the size 4. I think it looks better. I don't think it's like loads better. Maybe you're right.
I
A
don't
size
think it is
5.
either. I think it
Yeah,
is just slightly. I do think the size 5 would look right for the
but we
way
don't
that
have
they
a
have
size
it.
5 gun in game right now, do we? Or do we? The Redeemer has dual size
Redeemer
5s, right?
does. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So they could do that, I guess. Yeah. I mean, they're probably already a little grit in their teeth that they moved it up to a size 4. So I think that's about the best you're gonna
I
get.
think, yeah, we're not going to get any bigger. I think that size 4 is what we've got
Yeah.
on this. But
So
I think it's a good looking ship personally. I enjoy the ship, and I
yeah.
think they built it out really well.
Yeah, so that's my opinion too. I actually do kind of like the look of it. Is it a funny looking, quirky looking ship? It
Sure.
is. It definitely is. There's a lot of funny looking ships that I like though. I think the Cutter
Yeah.
is kind of a weird looking ship, but I really like it. There's a lot of people that don't like the Corsair, but I love the look of it. I mean, ship looks are subjective. I do think this is going to be one of the more popular ships, believe it or not, in its price range. Even with all the kind of divisive hate or love on, of its looks, I do think it's going to be one of the more popular ships. I think it's going to sell really well. So the big question
I do
is,
too.
how much is this thing going to be?
When we first discussed this, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago,
Yeah. Yep.
I said, $95 mark. Seeing the size, seeing it upgunned, honestly, I would say I'm going to stick around that part. I'm going to say $75 to $95. I still
Yeah.
think that it's worth that amount. I think maybe Cyber just hit it on the head with 80. 80 seems right. 80 makes sense. But I'm going to say $75 to $95
Yeah.
is that range.
I'm going slightly lower than you on my bet. I'm going to go
And
65
you're
to
probably spot
75.
on. You're probably spot on. I think
Yeah,
I think you will be.
it's really a toss up. I mean, I could see it being more, but I'm thinking 65 to 75. Some of
Yeah.
my thinking here is, and honestly, it would not shock me if it was cheaper. Here's my thinking of this. Now, normally, if I was thinking about past ships, I would go with a higher figure. I'd actually go like $90.
Sure.
The reason I'm saying 65 to 75, and I'm totally speculating here, everyone, I could be wildly wrong, is that I think as we get closer to 1.0, I think CIG is going to want to start pricing starter ships, starter packs, and starter plus ships at a $10 discount over what they probably would have 3 years ago or 2 years ago,
Yeah.
because those are going to be the ships that buy people into the game. They already are that, but it's going to be doubly important as we get closer to 1.0. And I think what we're going to start seeing is all starter ships kind of come in at around that $65 max starting point. Because you
You
think
know,
about it, that's the price of a game, right?
you know,
Of a game anywhere else. So, yeah,
yeah.
go ahead.
Thinking more on it, I think you're spot on. I do think 65 to 75 is the right amount.
Yeah.
I would say if you're right, and I think Execute and you are both onto something with it. If there's a bounty hunter variant, I think that would be the 85 to $95 range.
Yeah.
I think that's where your uptick would come from. But without that, I think it would be 65 to 75. The more I think about it, the more it makes sense. And what you just said,
Yeah.
where it's the price of a game and then you have the upsell, that makes sense.
Yeah. JCH says the weird thing about the Intrepid is it's actually pretty large and can be a downside. So I agree with you there. It's a larger starter ship for sure. Like a lot of Crusader ships, though, that size is not super indicative of the usable internal space. So, for example, like the cutter, when you look at the cutter, most of the cutter is usable space inside because it's essentially
Yeah.
just a little peanut with some small engines on it. The Intrepid, though, its usable space is probably half of what we actually see in the ship size. So again, how that affects price, we'll see. But yeah, again, I think CIG is going to really focus. Part of their 1.0 focus is going to be to bring people into the game. So I see
Yeah.
those, this ship being one, because again, I go back to think about those ships that are really like attractive for a new player who doesn't know all about Star Citizen. They just see the picture of the ship and say, "Oh, you know what? I'll pay $60 for that and try it out." The Intrepid is one of those ships that will like grab people's attention. You know what I mean? I think the
No.
Avenger does the same thing. I think the I think the Mustang even does that to some degree.
Yeah. As much as I hate that
Yeah. As much as the
rotisserie
Cutter
chicken,
is popular, and I know the Cutter's super popular,
it
but the
is.
Cutter and the Aurora, we know that they're kind of cool, but I think like the general gaming community out there isn't going to look at the Cutter and go, "Oh yeah," you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
maybe some, but I think it's going to be ships like the Intrepid and stuff that really attract people in. The Avenger as well, because the Avenger's pretty cool looking.
You know, Jordan Morey just said something over
Yeah.
on YouTube. He said he'd pay the 85 to 95 if the cargo bays were shielded like the MSR. That's I've been saying for a
Oh,
while that
shielded from
we would
scanning. Right.
get,
Right. Right.
yeah, that we would the Intrepid would have 3 variants. It was my thought process. It made
Yeah.
sense to have 3 variants, and one of them was always the mini data runner. I
Yeah.
could see them shielding those bays and
Yeah.
making it a data runner. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? replacing the bed with a scanning chair, maybe, or allowing for extra scanning. That would be something kind of cool.
Yeah.
It's probably not going to happen, but I would love that, Jordan, personally.
Yeah, I think out of all the variants, that would be a variant that makes sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And kind of fit within the fit within the
Seder
Crusader kind of
ethos.
ethos. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Oh, it makes 100% of
Yeah.
sense. It's why I jumped to Data Runner as a starter Data Runner in the first place, because it makes sense with Crusader.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Cool. Well, let's move on. Obviously, some people are hoping that we'll get some sort of update to other Crusader ships,
or
possibly
the
the Spirit
Tumbrel
E1, possibly the
Rangers.
Genesis Starliner. Nothing really to report on any of that other than early on when 3.24.3 and 4.0 code leaks started happening and people started data mining the code base. There were code strings found for the Spirit E1, like new code strings, which were interesting because we weren't totally sure why those were introduced at all. Now, maybe that's for an updated Hollow Viewer model.
Could be.
Possibly. The way it was told to me is that they weren't. It was literally like uh, seat tags and other things for those ships. So really interesting. Again, I'm not saying that any of those are going to be surprisingly coming out on any of those days, but what
I
it
think
could
it'd be
mean is
awesome.
we could get some updates on them at the very least.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Grim, do you think there will be, or is there a potential for there to be an update for the Tumbrel Cyclone? Or Ranger? Why do I call it a Cyclone? The Rangers.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
Um, we haven't heard anything about them in how long now?
it's been a while. I
Is
know it was mentioned not too awful long ago by a developer that it's the kind of the same old thing. They said they want to do it. They're excited to do it. They need the two-wheel driving physics to come in.
Yeah,
Here's the only thing I think that's holding up the Rangers, because from a modeling standpoint, it's minimal.
yeah.
I think, and a lot of people are saying, well, why is it so hard for them to do two-wheel driving physics? I actually don't think it's too hard for them to do that. I think the reason they haven't done it yet is because they haven't figured out four-wheel driving physics yet. CIG's even recently
You're
said
not
that they're
wrong. Yeah,
that they're not happy with the way vehicles drive, and I've been saying for years now that vehicles need downward facing or upward facing maneuvering thrusters on them that you can activate to keep them planted on surfaces of low gravity moons and planets, because the entire reason the driving sucks in Star Citizen is because you're not sticking to the ground and you have no traction. So
right.
you're bouncing all over the place. We need thrusters on vehicles that point up to keep us planted on the ground. So
Yeah,
I think CIG should solve that. I think once they get vehicles into a place where those feel good, I see them then go into the two-wheel. I don't even think they want to open the can of worms of two-wheel driving physics until they can get four wheels working correctly. That's my thinking.
I'm sure.
Now
That's
that I've
fair.
said that, CIG will unveil the Rangers on Tumbrel Day and say how they're in development. So
I will be very happy to hear that.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
My
Um,
tumbler is the only thing that I haven't melted at least once.
I know. You know, it's going to be super popular. Now, here's what I think the Ranger has going for it, though.
Mhm.
And I say the same for the Origin G12 series and stuff like that. Is that they're going to be used for racing, and CAG obviously loves to support racing. We have the guys
Sure.
over at Atmo Esports that do a fantastic job. They're friends of Starjump, and they do a really fantastic job of doing the races that have now been added to the in-universe lore. CIG loves to support them. I totally understand why. So there is some incentive to get more racing capable vehicles into the game to expand the esports side of things. And
Yeah,
again, while I'm not a big esports person, I do think it's important for those little niches to do well, because the more those things do well, the more attention is going to be on Star Citizen as a game from the wider
right.
gaming community, which is also good because this game needs more players than we currently have to be a successful MMO. Point blank,
Agreed.
just end of
Agreed.
discussion. It needs more players. Um, Anyone who's played MMOs for the past 20 years, I can tell you right now, MMOs come and they go. There's been a lot of MMOs that started that were going to be the WoW killers, and then they're gone in like a year and a half. Gone, completely
Because they
gone.
just didn't
Yep.
do what WoW could do.
You have to have more than just a good initial player base. You need a player base that'll stick with you with plenty of good numbers to survive up and down waves of player retention, because that's going to happen. So,
Yep.
let's continue on. Aegis Day. Anything you think with Aegis Day? Other than our limited ship wave sales?
I don't think so. I think it's just going to be the limited ship wave sales, and that's all that we're going to get for Aegis Day. I mean, I'd love to see something, but I'm not confident that we will.
The only thing I could think is that maybe CIG will talk a little bit about the updated, the updated looks for the Idris and Javelin, which I've talked about pretty extensively on, I think it was a shipyard. I did a whole talk on those. I think it's very possible that CIG could talk a little bit about that. Obviously, it's been noticed. The community has been talking about it. You can see it here in this image. The new engines that are on both the Idris and Javelin, entirely new external body configurations on the ships. So I think that could be a very real thing that they talk about. It'd be kind of weird if they totally ignored it at this stage, just because it made such a big impact on the squadron trailer to see these ships redressed. So we may see that. Obviously, we'll have the ship limited hulls. Wholesales. I do have that real quick, everyone. Let me grab that for everyone. It's not super pretty, but here it is. Obviously on Aegis Day, we have the Idris P, Idris K kit, which is the conversion kit there for the Idris P, as well as the Javelin Wave 1, November 23rd, 1600 UCC. You can see the rest of the times here. There's always 3 waves, okay? We'll go back to this as we go down the schedule here. Moving along, next day we have Mirai Misk. Again, the big one here is going to be the Starlancer Max and Starlancer TAC and Starlancer Build. Starlancer Max going flight ready. TAC is pre-order ready. You can pledge for it. And then the Build, shockingly enough, was not available for pre-purchase or pledging for concept, which really was surprising to me. I don't know if that surprised you at all, Ender. But it was just one of those moments where I'm like, well, that's different. CIG never shows off a concept ship, but then doesn't sell it. You know what I mean?
I thought it was very interesting that they did that, especially with the Build. Do you think it's going to go on sale?
I think it could.
This one, or do you think they'll hold off?
I think it's possible it could. I think it's interesting that they didn't even mention why it wasn't going on sale. Part of me at the time said that maybe enough of base building wasn't scoped out enough, enough of the build wasn't scoped out enough for them to confidently put it for sale. But I've recently been told, I think it was Execute that told me this, and I thought this was good reasoning. I think the reason that the little small hover builder trolley thing, whatever it is that builds things, the CSV FM, the fabrication module version of the CSV, and the BLD, the reason those weren't sold, from what's kind of going on in the background with discussions with developers, is that base building is actually much closer than we think. Definitely next year, and even maybe sooner in the year than we think, and that it makes sense for them to sell those ships flight ready when base building comes online and not do a concept sale, because then they can just straight up sell the ships at their flight ready higher price. The more I thought about it, the more that made sense. The more that totally made sense.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
The only reason I could have seen them putting it on sale early at CitizenCon or IAE this year is if they were running behind on their funds for this year that they're supposed to be hitting, those milestones. But I don't think they have any worry of that, because they've got, like I said, 6 flight ready ships and a concept ship for IAE this year. They're going to make tons of money.
Yeah. They're not going to be short any money.
Yeah. So obviously this is going to be Starlancer Max flight ready, so that's going to be a big one. Again, we'll be giving a Starlancer Max away, so stay tuned for that. Don't think we'll see anything from Mirai this day. Again, I do not think we will see the Guardian personally on this day. Now, it's not to
I don't know.
say that they won't show it off in that IAE show as an upcoming ship for 4.0, but I just haven't seen any sign that it's coming.
Yeah, yeah.
Citizen Scott, Starjump, I heard the opposite actually. Supposedly devs are talking 4.1 early 2025 for base building in game. Yeah, that's what I said, right?
That is
that
exactly
base
what he
building is
said.
Citizen, that's exactly what I said. Base building is much closer than we think, definitely next year, and probably sooner in the year than people were thinking. So that's what I have heard from devs. I've heard other content creators say that they've heard that from devs. So that is the thinking. That's what I'm thinking. That being said, we've seen how things get delayed and delayed. If CIG is saying base building for quarter 1 or quarter 2, I would start betting maybe quarter 3. Okay, it's going to be a complex system to come into the game.
Yeah.
Okay, let's keep moving along. November 25th, 26th, we got Gatak, Apoa, Banu, and Asperia. Anything there?
Is it Gatak or Gatak?
I think it's Gatak.
Gatak?
It's probably something like, and I'm just saying it wrong.
Most likely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's Alien Day. I'm not interested in the ships, but that doesn't mean nobody is. So I'm sure there's going to be some pretty cool stuff out there.
They will sell a lot of Banu merchantments, as they always do. That goes without saying. It's the one time during the year you can purchase the Banu merchantman, I believe.
Yeah.
Unless I'm wrong. Oh, you can also do it during Alien Week or whatever.
Alien Week, yeah.
Yeah, but it's one of the few times you can get the Banu merchantman. I think the Raylan will sell pretty well too. The Raylan is a ship people are really interested in. Out of all the alien ships, the Raylan is the coolest looking one to me. It looks like something like a Decepticon or something, a Transformer, which I think is really cool. So yeah, I think kind of a quiet day on that one, but moving on to the next day, RSI. Okay, so RSI, we don't have. Actually, you know what? Sorry, let's go back to MISC. There is a hull limited ship for MISC. It is the Hull E. So I always forget about the Hull E. Hull E.
That is hull limited.
Yeah,
I forgot about that.
I always forget about that one. And you know what? The reason it's hull limited is because brace yourself. It can hold 98,000 SCU of cargo. That is a lot, people. That's like 4 hull Cs.
Yeah,
cargo.
Yeah.
That's a lot. So obviously hull limited, very big ship, very, very big ship. It's longer than a Kraken, so this is a very big ship. Be interesting to see if we get any updates on its redesign. The Hull D and Hull E both need reconcepting. We're also waiting on the Hull B's reconcepting too, so it'll be interesting to see. Moving on to that RSI again, though. RSI also has a limited ship sale in the constellation Phoenix, one of Ender's most favorite ships, obviously the Connie series. The Phoenix probably being his most favorite of those. And
ban Grim now. Let's get on
let's
this.
go ahead and ban Grim.
Let's figure out how to do that.
Let's see. Quinn says Hull E is not always limited. I'd love to know what you mean, Quinn, because I've always saw it as limited.
Yeah.
I can't remember during the year when it's not limited. But if you can tell me, let me know. Maybe I'm wrong. But yes, Connie Phoenix, obviously limited wave ship. That'll be coming on RSI Day. 3 waves of that. RSI Day is going to be all about the Polaris, of course. Interesting thing about the Polaris has had quite a few art updates and adjustments in its the PTU testing phase. The ship looks absolutely incredible. I think they did a bang up job. Is it perfect? No, but I also don't think any ship is perfect. There's a few things on the Polaris I'd like to see them change from an art perspective in terms of decaling and lighting work inside the ship. I do think they'll
bullseyes on the interior.
Yeah, but it's not that it's bad. It's just that it's like at the 98% mark from being perfect. You know what I mean? Just a couple more tweaks.
I agree.
But I think they did a fantastic job. I think that what we are going to get on RSI Day, though, is a pretty in-depth update on the RSI Perseus. I personally think the Perseus has been in development for a little bit already.
Yeah.
And I think we're going to see some updates on it. Now, you may ask me, Grim, why do you think that? Well, and I'll see if I can pull it up here, bear with me. When they showed the Perseus silhouette, which was right here, when they showed the Perseus silhouette, as someone who has looked at the files, there are some things about this silhouette that look different from the previous Hollow model. Okay.
Grim, are you saying you've spent enough time with the hollow models to know the differences?
Yes, I know. Tell me, right? Um, there does look to be some changes with this. Now, a couple other interesting points. A lot of people have asked me, Grim, do you think the Perseus has grown? I don't think it's grown. Based off this silhouette, based off the size of people in the frame and everything, it does still look like it's around the 100-meter mark for me. I actually think that's a great thing. Two
Yeah.
reasons. It's a gunship that's meant to go into battle and brawl. So the bigger it is, the bigger target it is. Two,
Yeah.
the entire point of the Perseus, like the one thing that makes it good is the small crew size, right? Let's see. Why can't Ender tell the difference between the models? Oh, I think he's joking. Excuse. It's an inside joke because I constantly get questioned on ships, and people will question anything I say on ships. So me and Ender
Very regularly.
constantly joke about that. No, I usually any ship changes me and Ender are talking about on sort of back channels at all times. So
Pretty constantly.
yeah, but it does look like there are some geometry changes on the Perseus. It could be nothing, but I get the sense that they have started working on the ship. Now, there's some parts of the Perseus that still kind of look old, and I see them updating. One of the biggest ones is the landing gears. They're still using this old style landing gear for the big RSI ships that's got like the thinner support struts. I see that
Yeah.
going away. They're going to borrow heavily from the Zeus and Polaris landing gears, which are a lot bigger and a lot thicker. I think the Perseus will get that. North says nose looks a little different. Nose is a little sharper than the model
sharper.
I have. So yeah, some changes.
Could also be an angle thing,
It
but
could be an angle thing.
think,
It could be.
I think it does look sharper, and I don't think it's all angle.
But I do feel pretty confident there's been some change. There's been some work done on it. It could be just exterior work as well. What I would really love is I would love for at next year's Invictus. Well, let me go full hopium for a minute. Okay, let me sniff up the hopium. I would love for the Hornet Mark II, Super Hornet Mark II, and the Perseus to go flight ready next Invictus.
So
Okay.
I could actually see that happening personally.
I could too. They're working really fast. Put that aside for a minute, though. Put that hopium aside for a minute. And I think I've even heard Execute say that he would like to see that too. Execute, hope you're well, buddy. Putting that aside, though, I think at the very least, getting the exterior of the Perseus at Invictus, just like we had the Polaris, is very doable. And I think we could see that. So, question for you, Ender. Why is the Perseus so damn cool? Why do people like this ship so much?
I mean, it's the perfect gunship right now. It's a great anti-capital ship. We're starting to get larger, more dangerous ships, and this is going to be, in my opinion, the ultimate multi-role or multi-crew. There we go. Ship to patrol around in, especially with Pyro potentially coming soon, and it's going to be a brawler in that area. It's going to be.
We know it's got heavy. It's
punching holes and shit.
Yeah, we know it's supposed to. I think it's not supposed. It's supposed to be like not the fastest ship in the world, but it's got like heavy armor and stuff. So the idea is that it's kind of like if you split the ship out or if you put the ships into like WoW class categories, this is like one of the tanks. You know what I mean? It's a ship that's supposed to get in there,
Yep.
swing a baseball bat at other ships and stay in the fight and be able to withstand things. The other really interesting thing about the Perseus 2 is that one of the things it's supposed to lean on is that its bespoke size 7 dual turrets are supposed to be able to fire lots of different munition types, such as incendiary and other types of rounds. I would love for that to come online with the Perseus. Don't know if CIG's
I
plan
would
on doing it, but that would be cool.
If not with the Perseus, shortly after the Perseus.
Yeah. Well,
I can definitely see that.
Well, let me give you this what if that I think again would be really cool. What if they did launch the different munitions with this ship, and by that time we will have the resource management and fire gameplay and stuff in, because we know CIG delayed that from 4.0's initial launch, but it'll probably come soon after. But what would be really cool is if this thing could fire incendiary rounds, and since it's a ballistic weapon, they go through the shields and through the hull of the ship. And if it goes, if an incendiary round goes through the hull of the ship, it starts fires. Oh my god,
Could
that
you
would be
imagine
it'd be
a
killer.
incendiary shredder round where it
Yeah.
literally, explodes into just white phosphorus shreds? Oh God.
Oh, be cool.
Yeah.
And
I
that's what I hope this ship gets. Now, a lot of people have also asked me, do I think the guns on the Perseus have been upgunned? I personally don't think they have. I think they're still dual size 7s. The reason I don't think they have is because I think they're dual bespoke size 7s. I think they're size 7s built specifically for this ship. And as CIG always says, bespoke weapons are always more powerful than regular weapons of that size.
Yeah.
Sleepwalker says, stock limited ships during IAE, do they all go for sale together or each on their own show day, trying to snatch a Phoenix? So let me go ahead and close this real quick. So this is the ship waves. You can see the times right there, Sleepwalker. So for the Connie Phoenix, maybe you can take a screenshot of that. There's wave 1 on November 26th at 1600 UTC time. Wave 2 on November 27th, wave 3 later in the day on the 27th. I think it's every 8 hours. There's 3 waves every 8 hours, and then you can get it for credit or war bond for real money. If you put it in your cart and you try to buy it and it's sold out, leave it in your cart. Do not remove it, because on the next wave, since it's already in your cart, you can skip a step and just immediately hit buy and you'll probably get it. Okay. So if you're trying to snag a Connie Phoenix or any other hull limited ship, that's the way to do it. I had to do that. Sorry, go ahead, Ender.
No, you go ahead.
I was going to say that's exactly how I got my Javelin. I missed the first 2 waves. Yeah.
I remember you telling me when you got it. You were like, I got a Jav. I was like, Jesus.
What am I thinking? But I tried to get the Javelin the first wave, totally missed it. Second wave, I got it in my cart, then it was sold out. Third wave, because it was in my cart, I was able to grab it. So
Sleep,
Perseus, exciting ship.
You could, extremely exciting. Sleep, you could also just save the money and buy something better.
See, if you haven't seen Sleep, Ender does
the running
not
joke
like the
is
Connie
that
series.
I don't like the Connie series. I genuinely don't. The Phoenix is the one that I think is a good RP ship.
I agree.
But I don't like the Constellation series.
Yeah, I'm very split on the Connie series. It's not my favorite. Not my favorite.
So,
but if it's yours, that's really awesome. I think for a long time, Chris Roberts said the Connie series was his favorite ship. So there you go.
I've seen a lot of people saying, low crew on the Perseus, and I can see how that's minimal crew, but I got to be honest with you, I wouldn't want a Perseus with minimal crew. I would want enough people on that thing, especially if it's going to be in the fight, if it's going to be in battle. I'm going to want people who can engineer, people who can run a gun, and multiple people to do those roles.
That's a great point.
That's just me.
As we've seen more about resource management, it's very clear that that's going to be, you're going to need to carry 1 to 2 extra people above what CIG says for minimum crew to be able to properly do the ship. And Ender, you bring up a great point. Any ship that's expected to be in battle has even more of a need for, engineering support in real time to kind of keep that ship up and at the same time keep it in battle. Again, going back to the Sea of Thieves sort of idea of repair, where you might be in combat, but you're also bailing water,
Yeah.
nailing planks. It's been a while since we played that game. We should
we
play
need to
that game again
game.
soon, actually. I miss that.
Driz wants to play it very badly, so we
Do you
should all
guys,
get it.
do you guys
play
have it on Xbox or Steam?
Neither.
We might have to use some dollars to get it on Steam, so it's easier to play for all of us.
I would be so down for that. Anyway, continuing.
Yes.
What was that next picture, Grim?
So yeah, let's talk about the other RSI ship that could be discussed on the day, and that is the Apollo. Obviously, two variants: the Apollo Triage, Apollo Medevac. Very interesting ships. This is another ship that I think has been in development for quite some time. It was almost a year ago that we saw interior white box being done, which looked really cool. I'll be totally honest with you. I wish the medical area on the Polaris borrowed a little bit more from the medical area on the Galaxy and the Apollo, because I like the way it's set up a little bit better. But I think that could be the difference between just medical or military ship and civilian ship. But either way, and you know, I think that the Connie series is one that is, and Ender, you might could speak to this. It's a ship that like a lot of people love. It's got like a little bit of a cult following. And part of me thinks that it's got a little bit of a cult following because it's kind of such a niche little ship.
The Connie. You're talking about the Connie.
No, the Apollo. Sorry.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the Connie.
I think one of the reasons it's such a loved ship is because it's this little niche one role ship. Now
it's a niche ship, and it does a very specific thing. If this goes back to medical, if medical goes back to what it was, if it stays what it is, it becomes less niche. And it loses a little bit of that luster. So we've got to see something happen there, or the Apollo. I still want it. I'll probably keep mine. Because I like to look at the ship too.
I do still have faith that the Death of a Spaceman gameplay will be so in depth that medical ships are really going to be important in terms of their scale. C. McD says, question, other than price, does the Triage have any benefit over the Medevac? No, actually it's the other way around. The Medevac has some benefits over the Triage. That's why it's slightly more expensive. It's
slightly higher and missiles, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it's like a little faster too. I can't remember. Something like that. There's some slight additional benefits to it. But
which
yeah,
one is the one that's based on a movie that they made in verse? I think that's the Medevac.
Is it the Medevac?
It's based on a geez, hold on. Apollo Medevac.
Bingo says Triage is faster though. Oh, that's right. The Triage is faster because the Medevac has more armor, I think, and is a little bit more robust.
Yes, and I one of them, I don't know which, I can't remember which, is based on a movie.
Gotcha.
So,
and other people are saying some of the benefits there in chat.
The Medevac has the superior armor, dual missile racks.
Oh, this is interesting. Kino64 says the question is, will Ender keep his Apollo if it looks too much like a Connie? So let me speak to that real quick, and then you can. So I'm assuming, I'm taking a guess here. I think that Ender likes the Apollo, not putting the role aside. I think he likes the Apollo because it's what a Connie should look like. A little flatter, little less awkwardly standing on its back legs, a little sleeker. Am I right?
I won't pretend that they were to update the Connie and it were to look more like the Apollo series.
Yeah.
I might become a Connie fan. I don't like the looks of the Connies, and to be honest with you, I think my main gripe with it is that up until now, and even now, people use it as a single seat fighter, and it's just annoying.
It's definitely got a lot of offensive power for sure.
Got some power, and it should, but it should also need people eventually.
Yeah.
But I think mostly it's the look, and if you were to, thanks for the follow, right, Rep?
If you
were to make the Connie look more like the Apollo,
Yeah.
I'd be happy.
Yeah. Bear with me real quick, everyone. I'm checking something here. Oh, there's that. Stand by.
Got to copy that over to the other one.
Yeah, I forgot. It's not over
Yeah.
here. Sorry about that. There's our raid and follow alerts. Don't
Oh,
know
we
why
got a
those
raid
weren't
too.
up. Apologize.
Sorry for missing the raid.
Say
Hello,
again?
raid. I said I did. I missed the raid.
Was there a raid?
You said there's a raid. Oh, you meant?
Oh no,
Never mind.
I'm just bringing over those alerts.
I'm an idiot.
So yeah, the Apollo though I think is a very interesting ship. It's the only sticking point for me now are the changes to the medical gameplay
Yeah.
that seem to have taken away a little bit of the luster of medical ships. However, I am starting to think though that the reason CIG made the changes for whatever reason, I do think those are temporary, and I do think there'll be adjustments made because ultimately they're going to want to make Death of a Spaceman
Mean
work.
something.
And for that, I think they're going to have to get a little bit more prescriptive with medical ships in terms of their benefits and their disadvantages. And here's the thing: it may stay where all ships can respawn everybody, all sizes. However, in all tier beds, medical tier beds. But I want to see what the other differences are beyond just respawn distance and things like resource
Yeah.
usage on the beds. I think there's going to be a lot more there. So, for example, I think it'd be really cool if dedicated medical ships that have tier 1 med beds in them, like the Apollo, the Endeavor, Hope, stuff like that, if those had the ability to do cybernetics and surgery, instant buy now. You know what I mean? It makes that
Yeah.
ship so much more valuable. So
I could see I could see that happening. I still think I personally prefer it go back to the smaller ships be emergency ships,
yeah,
not be
yeah,
able to be respawn ships, but be emergencies.
yeah. Just catching up on a few things, by the way. Riot Rev, again, thank you for that follow. Really appreciate it. Brick Diesel followed 15 minutes ago. Again, my alerts were turned off, so sorry about that. Brick Diesel, thank you for that follow. Appreciate that support. We had Captain Thorn resubscribe with Prime. They've been subscribed for 2 months. Thank you for that. Really appreciate it. And again, everyone in chat, thank you so much for your support, both YouTube and Twitch. Really appreciate that. We are going to do some giveaways very soon. I'm going to get those set up. So let's keep going here. We are going to let me bring up the
But I got to
schedule.
say no. I just don't want respawns for tier 3 beds and tier 2 beds. That's what they said the case would be.
Thank you for that
And I
follow, Caleb.
prefer that personally. I mean, that's on me, but
Yeah.
that's my preference there.
Thanks for sending the javelin overhead. Thank you very much. Let's keep going. So after RSI Day, we will then go to Argo, Senal, Grey Cat, and Kruger. The big one here, obviously, is, of course, the limited wholesale for the Pioneer, the Consolidated Outland Pioneer. This is going to be a big one.
Nope.
If any of you watch, go ahead.
I see this going fast, Graham. I see this going real fast.
Yeah, I think it's going to go really, really fast. If Treef D, thank you so much for that follow. Appreciate it. Sleepwalker, thank you as well. Salute to you again. I don't know why. Oh, there we go. Sorry. Sleepwalker, subscribe for 1 month of tier 1. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Caleb99 also followed. Thank you very much. Thank you for that support. If I'll say that the changes to the Pioneer have done nothing but made it better.
Oh God, yeah.
It's almost like CIG just said, how can we take this ship that's already sought after, give it more functionality, and essentially make it the one thing you need to be able to build space stations. I do think that was the right decision, by the way, for the Pioneer to build the supply base. But what they've done in that is they've now made this a crucial ship for orgs, like an absolutely critical ship.
I don't think that they sat and said, how can we make this the one thing you need for space stations?
Mm-hmm.
I think they said, how can we make this better and how can we make it the most sought after ship we can?
Yeah.
And that's when somebody said, well, make it the only way to do space stations and improve some stuff.
Yeah.
And they did just
Yeah,
that.
and then to be smart about things to where you can build like, or it has the refiner, the extractors built into the landing gear and stuff. Again, and then it goes back to this thing here, the supply bay. This is what the Pioneer builds, okay, in space. The supply bay, when you build it, it is what will build space stations, right? And so, and it, when you build your space station, the supply bay gets integrated into the space station. For those that didn't know, so again, critical thing that medium to large orgs are going to need. The Pioneer is your way there, so it's going to be very important for people to have that ship. So the ship already sold out previously, like really quick in its waves. It's only going to do so more now. And there you can see the wave 1, 2, and 3s for that. If you're trying to get this ship on war bonds, you may have a chance. If you're trying to get it on credit, all I can say is good luck. Good luck. The other big question mark here is if this ship is going to see a price increase. Same thing with the Perseus. We're going to see if those ships receive any sort of price increase. I really hope not with the Perseus. It's already an expensive ship. It's a very expensive ship for what it is.
$850.
Yeah, so it's, what is it? Is it 700?
750 war bond, 850 standalone.
The Perseus? Or is the Pioneer?
Pioneer.
Okay, yeah, so Pioneer's that'll definitely go up. The Perseus, I think, is 650, if I'm not mistaken. So it's already pricey. I'm hoping we don't see that go up.
I would like to see it not go up.
Yeah.
675 standalone, 600 war bond.
Okay, yeah, pricey for a 100-meter ship. So it may go up. Good thing Ender's already got one locked in, but it could go up. We'll see. Let's continue on. Let's continue onward. The next day, which after that will be Drake. Big question. Nothing new expected from Drake here, but what we did see, obviously, in the original sitcom presentation was that the Drake Ironclad is in production or going into production sometime in the next 12 months. Here is my completely wild speculative thing on the Ironclad. I do think the Ironclad has been in development for a while now, actually. So I wouldn't be shocked if CIG pulls back the curtain on the Ironclad and we see that it's a lot farther along than we thought. I don't think it's coming out for IAE. Don't get me wrong, but I could see it coming out later, possibly in like a 4.1 or something like that. Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see what else Drake has to offer. We could have an IAE show day or an IAE show from CIG on that day. So it's possible we'll get information on the Ironclad. It's possible we'll get additional information on the Kraken. Maybe CIG could surprise us with something. I know, again, Paul Shelley from the Astropub said he expected some big Kraken news. I haven't heard anything like that, but boy, do I hope he's right. I would love some news on the Kraken. But ultimately, what I think is going to happen is I think they're just going to tell us about the Ironclad a bit. We're going to find out it's in production, and we'll find out that once the Ironclad is done, that sets up CIG. It puts them in a good place to begin development of the Kraken. At some point, you can see the Kraken flying behind me right now. Kraken. Okay, let's go back to our schedule here. You know what? Sorry. Let's go back to our wave list. Obviously on Drake Day, some bigger stuff going. We have the Kraken Privateer, and the Kraken Conversion Kit will all go on sale in limited waves. I forget how it works. I think if you purchase a Kraken or Kraken Privateer, or maybe it's just the Kraken, I forget, then the Kraken Conversion Kit will open up in your store page. You'll see it. So for those of you wondering how to get the Kraken Conversion Kit, usually you have to open it that way by getting a Kraken. Like you have to buy the Kraken, then you'll see the Kraken Conversion Kit. The other thing too is that there's been quite a few years where the link to the conversion kit is janked up and doesn't work. CIG has had to fix it and update it, so be wary of that if you're trying to get a conversion kit. After Drake Day, we go to Origin. Not much expected there. We do have an 890 jump 3-wave, the last of the whole limited wave sales there on November 29th and then the 30th. The big deal there with Origin is I'm sure people would love to hear something more about the 600i reconcepting. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't think you're gonna get any information on that. I don't think they're circling back to Origin for a little while. Everything I've heard is that Origin's got a little bit of a pin put in it for right now.
Yeah.
While I do think the 600i needs that interior rework, and I do think it's going to be a really cool ship once they do it, there's no real reason for it to have that work done right now.
Yeah.
I think when the ship when they decide to give it its gold standard pass, you might as well then redo it. I just don't see anything, coming for that. Reaper of Death says just waiting for more information info on the Merchantman. Again, it's another ship I just don't think that's in the purview right now. Now, could CIG surprise us for sure?
Sure.
Yeah, I just don't see them tackling it right now. I think they're perfectly comfortable with that one being on ice for a little bit.
Yeah.
Not to say it's a good thing, just, all right, so let's talk about the last and final day there from a ship perspective, and that is Anvil Aerospace Day. All right, so we got a few things to talk about. Obviously, the medical Terrapin is coming, flight ready, as well as the Hornet Ghost, Hornet Tracker. So 3 flight ready ships on that day. Pretty interesting.
A lot.
Yeah, that is a lot. We also know that the Anvil Paladin, a concept ship, is on the holo table in the holo table room. There's been maps pulled from leaks that show that. The Paladin, the best we know, is at least the information I've heard, and no, I cannot confirm this. So take this with a grain of salt. I have heard it's about 124 meters long. I've heard it's a gunship, and it's got an array of turrets on it. And I've seen some information to back that up. I don't know what it looks like. I am not privy to any early models on it. But I've heard it's around the 120 meter length, and it is a concept ship. Now, let's talk about the more interesting stuff, though, at this stage. Wikipedia just recently posted an Evocati update, and in that update had made the mention that Mark Gibson said several older ships were getting some nice little updates. Didn't say which ships, but some older ships were getting nice little updates. But he also mentioned that the Carrack got some love. Been a lot of people wondering about that. If you were watching Morphologist's channel during CitizenCon, you would have saw he had a brief interview with Dan McCabe from CIG, and Dan McCabe showed off some very, very early, very white boxy animations of the Anvil's armored canopy shutters unfolding, which looked really cool even in their early state. So let's talk about my theories there. Okay. 1, I think the Carrack's getting some updates. It could be its canopy shields. CIG could have went and fixed the cargo drop pods to at the very least be able to be lowered and opened. I don't think you're going to be able to drop them off, and I don't think you're going to be able to switch them out. But I think you'll be able to lower the drop pod and open the door so you can load cargo in it.
Yeah.
That's theory 1. Theory 2. It has been told to me, and I'll give props where props is due. Execute told me, and Execute was shown this by someone. I don't know if he wants his name out there, so I won't say it. But a very well-known Star Citizen code deep diver. Okay, someone who knows how to rip apart the Star Citizen code and look at what's there. And what has been communicated to us, and again, I want to say this could be nothing burger stuff. This could just be some code that's there that CIG has no intention of following through with. But there is code that suggests that on the show floor on Anvil Day, that there is a big open area for a big ship to be sitting on the show floor. Not the Carrack, but a big ship.
Yeah.
Next to that is a rental kiosk. Makes sense because you can rent those flight-ready ships during those days. But also, and this is the new thing, there is a hollow table next to that as well, which we've never seen, that is next to the rental kiosk.
On the showroom floor,
Yeah,
not down underneath.
correct. So, what could this mean? Here's my speculative theory. And again, this could be take this with the biggest grain of salt you've ever heard. I think it's possible there could be Carrack variants coming. Specifically, one Carrack that is flight ready, a new version of the Carrack that's flight ready, and possibly a version of the Carrack that is not quite yet flight ready and will be on the hollow table. The one that is flight ready, you'll be able to rent. The one that is not flight ready, you won't be able to rent. So then I got to thinking, and I was talking with Execute a little bit about this too, and we were like, oh, and here's the other thing. The space on the show floor is like about 126 meters big, so Carrack sized. So it got to me thinking, like, well, if there were Carrack variants, which it would make sense that there would be Carrack variants, actually. It's a former military ship. I can't remember if it's supposed to have variants in lore, but it seems like it could be used for variants. But what kind of variants could there be? And I got to think, well, there definitely could just be a gunship variant with some big turrets on it, but that's kind of obvious. The other variant that I think that could be interesting is maybe some sort of E-War variant, but we really haven't seen any like large and capital level E-War stuff from CIG. We don't know what that looks like.
At least not yet. Yeah.
There's obviously could be a mine laying variant to compete with the Aegis Nautilus.
Nice.
It could be a completely new ship. It could be a completely new ship that CIG is about to totally surprise us with. It could also be nothing. That data could be code that's just a red herring. We don't know. But if there's a flight ready variant, unless they've kept it totally super secret, which is possible, they could have been like the Star Lancer and kept it totally secret. The only ship that they have in that size range that they could easily make flight ready would be variants of the Carrack, because the other two ships that are large Anvil ships, the Crucible and the Liberator, are not out yet. And no, for those thinking, I don't think it's the Liberator. I don't think it's the Liberator. I think if the Liberator was coming this IAE, I think CIG would have just told us.
So, do you think it's? I've got a very odd theory, and it's probably way off. But do you think it's possible that the one that's not quite flight ready, could be and Samurai just hit it. What I was about to say, could it be a passenger transport?
I guess it could, if for some reason Anvil was really trying to push into civilian market, because again, all of Anvil's ships, and I found this out about the Crucible too, actually all Anvil ships are military ships.
Yeah, that's true.
Which is kind of interesting. Even the Crucible is a military repair, is essentially a ship used by the UE military for repair.
Which makes sense. I mean, they'd want to have a ship dedicated to the military to repair the military ships.
Yeah. Now,
a lot of people are saying Carrack build.
The reason I don't think it's that is because the reason I don't think it's a base building variant is because, for one, they took that ability technically away from the Galaxy and only begrudgingly, John Crew changed that, thankfully, and gave it back to the Galaxy. But if I read anything from that, it's that CIG doesn't want a lot of ships to be able to build bases. You know what I mean? So I don't think there's going to be a build variant. It's not to say there couldn't be a crafting variant of it, though.
I could see it being a crafting variant.
Yeah. What is needed, though, in a military standpoint? What is needed there?
So, honestly, I think that not so much an executive transport, but a troop transport makes sense.
Troop transport, yeah.
But it wouldn't be used that way for the Carrack.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense for the Carrack. Maybe a medical variant where it's just a medical ship.
Mm-hmm.
instead of having the single bed on it, it would have multiples, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah.
From the military wise, I mean, you've got the exploration already. I would
Yeah.
say crafting, and I don't know what else, to be honest with you. Maybe everybody's right. I don't
Maybe a
think it is.
medical
Maybe
variant.
everybody's right, and
Mm.
and the paladin that they're talking about is a Carrack variant, and it's just a big gunship. I don't know.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
mean,
know.
I have heard that the Paladin is a unique ship, and not a
Yeah,
variant. However, and again, the information I have on the Paladin and this possible Carrack variant stuff is not from a CIG dev. I want to make that clear. I have
yeah.
no firm confirmation on this. I have it through code, someone looking at the game code and seeing what's there. And
Me too,
even
Scott.
then, they're making some inferences. Um,
Yeah,
so, for example, the only reason we're thinking that possibly a Carrack variant is because we know the space on the show floor that is around Carrack sized, and what other type of ship could they have flight ready? It makes most sense that it'll be a variant and not. And the fact that they've done some love to the Carrack,
yeah.
that's kind of further evidence, because we're kind of going, well, if they're going to go through the trouble of making a Carrack variant, they probably went through the trouble of bringing the Carrack up a little bit to maybe not to full gold standard, but they probably went through and added proper door locks and all the labeling and all that kind of stuff. So,
MT Center actually said something that
mm,
piqued my interest on it. A Carrack refueling variant.
mm,
If they converted that bottom area where you're normally going to have the modules there to
mm-hmm.
just a straight storage and put fuel in that, it
Oh
would be a
man,
great refueler.
what if on the back of each of the nacelles that stick on the Carrack, two of those refueling booms could come out and you could refuel two ships at the
Yeah,
same time, I know there's some military ships that can do that and do
there are.
refueling too at the same time. That'd be kind
Uh,
of interesting for a large ship.
yeah, I mean, that would be pretty awesome, to be honest with you.
Yeah, yeah. It's also possible that it's just the Carrack, but with modularity added. We haven't heard anything about that. I really doubt that's the
Here's
case
hoping.
here. I hear it would be really cool. But at the very least, though, what I do think we'll see is the Carrack with some additional functionality and some cleanup.
Oh, yeah.
I think if they, at the very least, allow the modules to drop and the doors to open on the module, because the modules have doors on both sides of them, um,
Yeah.
to where people can load cargo, the Carrack immediately becomes, people will love it again.
Yeah.
People are kind of angry at the Carrack right now because its cargo pods don't
Don't
function
work.
yet. So,
Yeah.
and again,
Grim, you've
go
had
ahead.
a Carrack for a while.
I've had
That's one of your favorite ships. That's your first ship, right?
my first big ship, and the Carrack is one of those ships that, and I still stand firmly by this. When the Carrack gets all of its gameplay, it's going to be one of the best ships in the game.
Yeah.
When it gets its scanning ability, its cartography ability, its modularity, its drones, all that, the Carrack becomes a really powerful ship. Now, I do think with the Ursa medical rover, the NURSA, and the CAR, there really could be a medical variant of the Carrack. That, imagine that if you had a medical Carrack with the medical rover and the medical CAR in it, you've now got this like medical powerhouse. I could totally see that.
Yeah, I could see that 100%.
Yeah,
That's why I mentioned it
yeah,
a second ago.
yeah. Quinn says the Carrack does way too much. It does, but there's other ships that do way too much too, and those ships will have limitations. I mean, the Carrack does a lot, but it's also one of the weakest ships out there in terms of defensive capabilities, especially for a military ship.
Yeah,
Um,
for its size,
it's pretty
it
weak.
doesn't do. I mean, even the Connie is a stronger ship. God, ugh, than the Carrack at this point, and
Yeah,
that's not okay.
yeah,
Like the
yeah.
Carrack be a little sturdier.
So TJX says, Grim, why do you keep saying variants? It's modular. A ship being modular doesn't necessarily mean it won't have variants. The Apollo is modular technically, but there's two variants: the triage and the medic. The medevac, but the Apollo is technically modular because its medical rooms are modular. So you can switch out to different beds, and CIG has referred to that as modularity. So there is precedent for modular ships having variants. So again,
I don't think the mech carrier north.
Yeah, and TJack, I'm speculating wildly. Okay, it may very well not be a Carrack. It very well may be nothing. It may just be some code CIG left in for testing purposes, and they're never going to activate it or whatever. But I'm just telling you what was found. Essentially, to go over it again, from what I was told, is that it's an area on the show floor about the size of the Carrack, but not the Carrack. It has a rental kiosk next to it and a hollow table next to it, which is very odd. We've never seen that before. So that's why we're kind of wondering what it could be.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Okay. So that being said, let's go ahead. We said we give away some posters. So let's do that. Ender, while I'm getting this set up, talk about what you're most excited for when it comes to IAE.
Hopefully Perseus update something with that. But honestly, I just want to fly the Intrepid around. I haven't gotten to get in one yet.
Yeah.
So I'd like to get in one, fly it around a little bit, take a look at it, and see what's going on with it.
Yeah, I haven't.
And then just news. I love news for Star Citizen.
Yeah, I actually haven't flown the Intrepid either. I haven't been able to spawn it. Every time I go in, it's not Crusader Day. It's not Crusader Day.
Citizen Scott, the answer is yes. It's both. It's technically a variant, but you can remove the module and put it on another variant of the Hornet and make it the Ghost, just like you can with the Mark IIs. So it's both. It's a variant because it's a Hornet Ghost, but it's also just a module that you can take off and put on something else. Let's see.
Okay, real quick here. I'm setting up the giveaways, everyone, so stand by.
Manny says, at least the Intrepid has a size 4 gun now. Yeah, I do think, I mentioned this earlier, and I'll mention it again, and I'll probably wax poetic about it forever. I do think it would be nice to have the ability to have a size 5 on the Intrepid.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen, but...
Real quick, everyone. 2 giveaways have been started. One on Twitch. You can see right there, a giveaway has started for an IAE 2954 poster. I'll go ahead and pop that up right now real quick. Let me pop this. You get your choice between either one of these posters, the IAE 2954 poster or the ship scale poster that we're famous for updating every event. If you're on Twitch, all you have to do is get exclamation ticket or exclamation tickets, and you can buy tickets with your channel points if you have those. If you don't have them, I think you can follow and get some. So feel free to do that. I'll be doing a winner here very shortly for that. If you're on YouTube, here's how you win. You need to look at the top of the YouTube chat. You'll see a link pinned. It's a YouTube link to our Kraken video. Thank you for that follow, Quiet Kial. There is a link to our Starjump Shipyard Kraken video. You need to go to that video and leave a comment. Okay, can be any comment. Don't make it anything negative. Obviously, make it. You can just say contest poster. Thank you. You're the best. Grim, you're handsome. Ender, you're handsome. Whatever you want to say. But put that comment in, and we'll do a random YouTube comment draw here in just a little bit to pull that one. Here's some important information, though. If you win on Twitch, everyone listen up. If you win on Twitch, you need to send me a DM through Twitch, okay? Contact me on a DM through Twitch. You'll need to give me your mailing address, your name and mailing address, so I can process those. And let me point out, I will not be sending out or processing any posters until after IAE. The reason I'm doing that is because I need to put all the new IAE ships into the poster. Okay. And I don't know what all those ships are yet, and I won't know until the very last day of IAE, and then I'll need time to integrate those. So again, you know, there's going to be some time before I send these, but go ahead and and we'll be giving away these posters all throughout IAE. If you're on YouTube, same thing. We'll not be processing these. Also, everyone, you can enter both. You can go to Twitch and YouTube and enter both 2 times. But on YouTube, you want to go to that Kraken link. You want to leave a comment there, and we'll pull a random winner. Okay, so while we're waiting for that, another little bit of news, Ender, I'm kind of curious your thoughts on this. There was some loaner matrix updates, I believe, and chat can correct me if I'm wrong on this. The Idris, the Javelin, the Perseus, all got switched to the Polaris as its loaner. So I believe you have a Polaris in your hangar now, right?
I do. I was a little surprised by it earlier today.
That's
but
cool.
yeah,
That's
I've got
a cool
a
loaner to
Perseus.
get, especially for the
It is.
Perseus. I mean, that's a hell of an
Especially
upgrade.
for the Perseus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just in terms of
I'll take it.
functionality and stuff, you know.
Oh, yeah.
I would
Oh,
have
yeah.
fully expected them to give a hammerhead for the Perseus loaner.
I was surprised they didn't.
Yeah.
but
Nautilus as well. Okay, interesting. That's a really
I mean,
interesting one.
they did have the hammerhead as the loaner for a while.
Yep.
But switching it up made a sense.
Made sense
to me.
Yeah.
So, I like it. I like it a lot.
Yeah. What was your thought of the Polaris? Actually, I know you checked it out with me. Kind of did an interior thing. We actually didn't fly it, right? Because the servers were crapping out.
We
flew
it. We flew it
Did we
in
fly
the
it?
hangar.
We
the
did fly it.
hangar.
We took
And
off a little
you got
bit,
it out of the
damn it.
hangar a couple of times.
Listen to me. We flew it, damn it. We flew it
We
out.
flew it,
We took
damn
off 6
it.
feet.
I as somebody who spent a little bit of time on a ship, it was a display ship, so it wasn't out at sea. But as somebody who spent some time on a ship and has been on a couple of carriers while I was in, the main thing that I felt like it was missing was some kind of bullseye, which is the way you learn to get around on a ship. It's basically berthing numbers that let you know where you're at on a ship based on some specific parameters, what the room is for, all of that.
Yeah.
I think that they
I'd agree with
need
that.
some kind of a system like that. It would make getting around really, really easy. And it would make being able to locate people on a ship easy too.
Yeah. And we do have the new mini maps, and those are very helpful in getting around the ship and stuff, but the ship really does need that decal work.
It does.
Interior, that navigation stuff. Also, real quick, everyone, I forgot to mention this. On Twitch, again, if you went on Twitch, you need to DM me on Twitch. Give me your information. You got to DM me on Twitch, okay? If you went on YouTube, okay, let me make this very clear. And Ender's on here, so he'll be minding it. On YouTube, you need to contact me through Discord. You need to DM me on Discord. I'll accept your DM. I'll confirm you through there. But also, if you just a quick note for everyone who joins the Starjump Discord, we are pretty locked down. There are reasons for that. Okay, we appreciate your patience with that. But if you come to our Discord, there are rules you need to accept. You'll see them when you first go to our Discord. Very, very important. You need to accept those rules to kind of get past the gate, so to speak. We do stick pretty firm to that, because as we've grown, there's been some targeting, and we have to do that. So if you do come to the Discord, please follow the rules. And if you come to the Discord, be active. Say hello. Stop in. We have a really cool Discord. Lots of debate goes on there. We have a lot of heated debate sometimes about things, but it all stays civil, and there's a lot of good back and forth on there. We have 2 channels, both our general discussion channel and our ship discussion channel, that stay pretty active, actually. You could probably thank Bunker Fist, I know, who's in chat, for a lot of that. Znurf, however he wants to go, for keeping it active in there. We appreciate it, Bunker. We don't always agree with every idea you have, But
There
we
he is.
love that you're in there and you keep those chat channels alive along with a lot of our other
Yep.
really great Starjump community members, Bingo and Bosun and just tons of other people. So thank you for being over there. Entries are coming in on everything, everyone. So thank you so much. We're only going to run it for about 5 more minutes. Let me talk a little bit more about the giveaway
You'll never be
structure
happy,
again.
Bunker.
So tomorrow is Crusader Day. Obviously,
Yep.
going to be some focus on the Intrepid.
Yep.
Tomorrow we'll be giving away 2 Intrepids. We'll start one at the beginning of the show and let that run for about 30 minutes, and then a second do that giveaway, and then halfway through the show we'll start the next one and give that one away. Okay, so if you're interested in Crusader Intrepid, obviously you'll want to be around for that, and then we might give away 1 Icon City Star Citizen Icon pack tomorrow too. Okay,
Mhm.
so you'll want to show up for that. Every IAE stream we do, Starjump Station IAE stream we do throughout the IAE event this year, we're going to give something away. So pretty exciting. You'll want to make us your destination for this year's IAE. I know a lot of great content creators out there doing a lot of great coverage, but we really appreciate you all hanging out with us to some degree. Also, quick note, I have been invited on to talk ships on Citizen of the Verse soon and Space Tomatoes podcasts. So I think they want to hear me talk spaceships. So you'll get a
Of
little
course I
bit of
do.
that. I'm just going to bring all wrong information, by the way. I'm going to just come with
The
a
best way to
lot of
do it.
bullshit. I'm going to say that there's variants to the Intrepid, that there's a new Kraken variant coming out. I'm just going to lay
Do it.
waste with troll
I like it.
nonsense.
I'm here for it.
Yes. All right, everyone. Okay, here we go. We're going to get ready to close out the giveaway. So if you haven't entered, you need to do so now. We're going to close them out in about 30 seconds. Okay, at least the Twitch one. I am going to switch over. Let's go over to standby. There we go. There is our Twitch, our giveaway page here. We've got, what is it, 36 entrants, 119 tickets purchased. So again, not a lot of entries, only 36 people. So your
Mhm.
chances are still good. You got about 20 seconds left to get that in. Again, one more thing. If you win on Twitch, if you win on the Twitch drawing, you need to DM me on Twitch. Okay. Just say, hey, here's my name and my address. I may not contact you right away. I may contact you in an hour or tomorrow or something like that, but I will see your DM and put you on the poster list. Okay. We're going to close it here in about 10 seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Don't forget, there's plenty more chances to win posters. Closing the giveaway now. Boom. We're going to, okay, drawing is closed. We're going to draw a winner. And remember, if you did not win, we're going to be giving away plenty of IAE 2954 Starjump posters. So this is not the only one. You just got to keep showing up for me and Ender throughout the IAE event, and we're going to be giving away these posters. So let's give away the first one now.
Mhm.
The winner is Bingo
Bingo.
Winchester. Our good friend Bingo Winchester just won. That is awesome. Bingo's done so many great things for us today. I'm not sure if he's already got one of these posters coming. I can't remember if I told him that. He says, "What? Okay, cool. Good friend rigged." Lacey. No, not rigged, but he is a good friend. We can't deny that. All right, Bingo. I am putting your name in the poster win list here. That one's going to be easy for me to follow up on. I'll just need to figure out which one of these posters you want. I think I already have a ship scale poster for you, though, so it may be the IAE one that you'll want.
Mhm.
But anyways, congratulations, Bingo. Bingo has always been there to sort of help Starjump out, and we really appreciate that. He's helped us out quite a bit actually on various things, whether it's just being there when we need him, as in Ender's Val renewals recently, or coming to Equinox and helping Starjump set up its booth and more importantly, man its booth, because I actually went up on stage and did some talking and stuff. So it was nice to be able to have trusted people like Bingo Winchester and Artorias to man the Starjump booth, because we had lots of giveaways and some fancy setup stuff that cost some money. So it was really cool that Bingo was able to man that. Okay, YouTube, you should have got your comments in. We're going to see if I know how to work this. Essentially what we're going to do is this is the YouTube random comment picker. I think I've learned how to do this now. I just need to do the after date. So we're going to set it for today, and we're going to set it for earlier, like it's what time is it now? And it's 10:47.
10:47. Maybe set it for 8.
Yeah, let's do 9 p.m. 9 p.m.
9. Yeah, that's when we started streaming, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, do it for 9.
But you know what? The contest didn't start till about 10:30. But so let's, just to be safe, let's do 10:15 actually.
That'll work.
That'll work. Yep. Ender agrees, which means I agree. So there we go. It'll be this. We'll do it from the after date from 10:15 here. We're going to pick a random winner now. Hopefully you get your comments in, and please everyone, please share that Kraken video to all your friends. That thing is at 99,000 views. I want it to be the first Starjump video to get to 100,000 views. That would make me so happy. Thank you. Oh, and Wolf, yes, thank you. Ender answered no. We're not allowed to sell them, Wolf, unfortunately. In discussions with CIG and their lawyers, they do not want us selling anything with Star Citizen IP on it. We respect that. So no, we can't sell them, but you can win them by watching us. All right, here we go. We're picking a random YouTube comment. Again, if you went on YouTube, you need to contact me through Discord, through DM. I am going to verify your identity. There's a couple ways for me to do that. And then you will be put in the list. Citizen Scott says, guys, my comment wasn't anything negative. Perfect. Here we go. All right, loading the comments. I have a lot of anticipation here. Okay, there it is. There's the winner, Marlon Chandler. Congratulations, Marlon. If you're in chat right now, congratulations. You need to contact me on Discord, which you can do by going to the Starjump Discord. I don't have a link for that. Hopefully you can find a link for that. You should be able to find it on this channel, by the way, on our YouTube channel.
Whoa.
Yes,
Hold on.
Go ahead.
You don't know the link to our Discord?
No, I don't. It's
Grib, it's literally just discord.gg/Starjump.
I do it with
type
something
Starjump,
like that.
guys.
I do it with something like that.
Just type Starjump in the. Oh my God, I'm gonna have an aneurysm.
Hey,
I'm gonna have an aneurysm.
Wait a minute. The Discord is your realm, okay? You're the Discord guy. Congratulations, Marlon. That's really cool. Everyone, those are our first poster giveaways for IAE. Congratulations on that. When you contact me, you'll be able to choose between one of these two posters. The one on the left here is our ship scale poster that's very popular out there. I'm going to add the IAE ships to it. On the other side is my new IAE 2954 poster, which Ben Curtis from CIG said looked like Micro Machines, and that he really loved it, which is great. So that being said, thank you all for entering. That is really cool. Let me switch us back to our full thing here. Okay, so while I'm looking for that, Ender, maybe you can scope someone to raid on Twitch if you don't mind.
Can do, will do.
Everyone, thank you for hanging out with us tonight. Remember, we are going. You got our ship schedule, or sorry, our Starjump station schedule for IAE. We'll be streaming. Okay, great. We'll be streaming tomorrow for day 1. We'll be covering Crusader, obviously, and giving away 2 Crusader Intrepids. We're going to be streaming same time, 9 p.m. Eastern time on Twitch and YouTube. Again, 9 p.m. Eastern time. It'll be me and Ender most likely. I don't know if VMXEO will be able to make it tomorrow. Starlet, unfortunately, won't. But they're here in spirit. VM may be able to be on tomorrow. We'll see. But definitely you're going to have me and Ender along for the ride. And again, hope to see you all there. Ender, are we ready?
We are. Are you ready?
Kick it off, sir. Let's raid. Go,
We're
please.
Gonna raid
please give them some Starjump love.
Because
who are we raiding?
They give us love. We're Soul Citizen.
Oh yes. Perfect.
We're gonna raid Soul Citizens. It looks like it is Fast Cart and Jade.
Perfect.
Talking right now.
Perfect. Okay. Yeah, let's rate them. Good people. Very good people. Thank you.
Here we go.
Have a good night,
Hey,
everyone.
do some kind for a random stranger. Bye.
Bye, everybody. We good?
We are good. As soon as you click stop streaming.